I'd like to call to order the regular meeting of the Elmwood Park Mayor and Council for February 19th, 2015, and at 8:01 p.m. On roll call, Councilman Caramagna.
Here.
Coletti.
Yes.
Martino.
Here.
Pettigano.
Here.
Monsino.
Here.
Dombrowski.
Here.
Mayor Mola.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Will everyone please rise for our prayer and flag salute? O God, our Father, we ask you to bless our meeting, which we trust your fatherly care and protection. Please remove all selfishness and prejudice from our heart and plant therein a keen sense of justice and a greater love for you and our neighbor. Guide us in our deliberations so our decisions will always please you and bring peace and happiness to our community. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mayor, tonight under ordinances.
Excuse me, let me just read the statement of compliance. Whereas Chapter 231 of Public Laws, State of New Jersey, requires that the commencement of each meeting, a statement by the presiding officer, now therefore be advised, the meeting requirements of this meeting have been met by posting an annual notice in the Record of Hackensack, the Herald News of Woodland Park, and by posting such notice in the office of the Borough Clerk, as well as in the public place within the municipal building, and by notifying interested citizens. Said notice was posted on January 1, 2015. Ladies and gentlemen, this meeting is going to be videotaped. It'll be on cable, channel 77, Monday 2 p.m., Wednesday 4 p.m., and Friday at 12 p.m., or you can read it, see it on our website. Monday 2 p.m., Wednesday 4 p.m., Friday 2 p.m., or on our website. Thank you.
Mayor, tonight under ordinances, we have Resolution R 72-15, introduce ordinance number 1502 on second reading. Whereas public notice was given by the Borough Clerk that an ordinance entitled, an ordinance adopting Chapter 3-28 to the Code of the Borough of Elmwood Park entitled Curfew, and whereas said ordinance was introduced and passed at a meeting held on Thursday, February 5th, 2015, and that final consideration of this ordinance would be taken up at this meeting. And whereas all persons interested in said ordinance were given an opportunity to be heard concerning same. Now therefore be it resolved by the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Elmwood Park that an ordinance entitled, an ordinance adopting Chapter 3-28 to the Code of the Borough of Elmwood Park entitled Curfew, passed on final reading. Mayor, we need to open to the public.
Yeah, motion to open the public, please.
So moved.
Mr. Boncino, second?
Second.
Mr. Pettigano, any discussion? Anyone in the audience who wish to be heard on this? It's an ordinance for Halloween, and it's the curfew so that we don't have young people around town and possibly getting into trouble. We've had this for many, 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 many years, and we're just now codifying it so that we don't get ourselves into trouble. No one wish to be heard? I'll close the public portion. May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
I'm sorry, Mr. Pettigano, and who else?
In second.
And Dombrowski? Call the roll, please.
Caramagna.
Yes.
Coletti.
Yes.
Martino.
Yes.
Pettigano.
Yes.
Monsino.
Yes.
Dombrowski.
Yes.
Motion carries. Okay, on tonight's consent agenda, we have Resolution 73-15, payment of bills, 74-15, confirmation of escrow checks, 75-15, confirmation of payroll, R76-15, authorize engineering, design, and construction supervision for English Avenue Park, 77-15, refund duplicate application fee for towing services, Arrow Towing, 78-15, authorize memorandum of understanding with the New Jersey Motor Vehicle Commission, 79-15, authorize emergency pump repair for pump station number 5, 80-15, authorize agreement for Borough Attorney Giuseppe Randazzo Esquire, 81-15, authorize agreement for special counsel for municipal tax appeals Vincenzo Stampone Esquire, 82-15, authorize agreement for municipal auditor Lurch, Vinci, and Higgins LLP, 83-15, authorize agreement for bond counsel Rogat McCarthy LLC, 84-15, authorize agreement for special projects engineer Boswell Engineering, 85-15, resolution authorizing contracts with certain approved state contract vendors for contract units pursuant to NJSA 40A 11-12A, 86-15, Resolution regarding mutual aid plan and rapid deployment force interlocal service agreement. 87-15, appoint 2015 police tower.
Motion, please.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Martino, second.
Second.
Any discussion?
Mayor, if I may, can we please pull R7615 and R8115 for further discussion?
Okay, will Councilman Martino and Councilman Dombrowski amend their motion
So
on the
moved.
consent agenda?
Yes, so
To
moved.
exclusion of Resolution 76-15 and 81-15.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. On roll call for the consent agenda items with the exclusion of Resolution 76-15 and 81-15. On roll call, Caramagna,
Yes.
Coletti,
Yes.
Martino,
Yes.
Pettigano.
Yes.
Vansino.
Yes.
Dombrowski.
Yes.
Motion carries. Okay. Resolution 76-15, authorized design and construction phase for English Avenue Park, Alimo Group. Be it resolved that the mayor and council of the Borough of Elmwood Park do hereby award engineering, design, and construction management services to Alimo Group for English Avenue Park with a total not to exceed $30,000. Can we have a motion?
Motion, please. Let me have a motion.
So
No-
moved.
No motion?
So moved.
Mr. Dombrowski, second. Mr.
So moved.
Martino, discussion?
Yes, Mayor, if I may, I'm concerned about the fee for Limo. If this project is going to cost $180,000, and he's looking for a cap of $30,000 as his fee, that equates to 17%, which I consider high. The normal should be from 10 to 13%. So gentlemen, I think we need to discuss this further with them, and I move to table this.
Second to the tabling motion?
I'll second it.
Seconded by Mr. Vansino. No discussion. Call the roll, please.
Councilman Caramagna on the
No.
tabling.
No.
Coletti,
Yes.
Martino,
No.
Pettigano,
No.
Vansino,
Yes.
Dombrowski.
No.
Motion carried. Motion fails, I'm sorry. Okay. Now, can I have a motion to adopt this resolution?
So moved.
Mr. Dombrowski, second.
Second.
Mr. Pettigano, discussion? Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Caramagna,
Yes.
Coletti,
No?
Martino,
Yes.
Pettigano.
Yes.
Vansino,
No.
Dombrowski.
Yes.
Motion carries. Resolution 81-15, Agreement for Special Counsel for Municipal Tax Appeals, Vincenzo Stampone Esquire. Whereas the mayor and council of the Borough of Elmwood Park retain the services for special counsel for the purpose of municipal tax appeals at the regular meeting of February 5th, 2015, and whereas Vincenzo Stampone Esquire was retained to provide such services. Therefore, be it resolved by the mayor and council of the Borough of Elmwood Park, County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, do hereby approve the attached agreement for January 1st, 2015 through December 31st, 2015 with Vincenzo Stampone of 10 Tilt Street, Haledon, New Jersey, 07508, for a term of 1 year in accordance with the associated fees outlined in said agreement. Have a motion?
Motion, please.
So moved.
Mr. Caramagna, second.
Second.
Mr. Martino. Discussion?
Mayor, if I may, please.
Yes.
When we discussed this previously, I didn't like the idea that we were changing our special attorney. We had Mr. Giblin, who's doing a fine job, voted by this council last year, and now we're changing it. I can't fathom why that's occurring, other than for the mere fact of just simple change. Mr. Giblin was doing a fine job, and besides that, we know his work. He had many years of showing us what he can do, and with this new gentleman, we don't know his work. It's not broke. Why are we fixing it?
Any other discussion?
Yes, Mayor. I had intended to vote yes on this agreement tonight, using the same rationale I did with our borough engineer. Last meeting on the 5th, both Councilman Coletti and I voted no to this change, as we felt Mr. Giblin was doing a very good job working with Mr. Esposito. The majority decided to make the change. And I was going to vote yes on the agreement, so the borough would have an agreement in place with the attorney. But at our last public meeting, Councilman Dombrowski seemed to imply, and I hate to revisit the whole engineering decision, but pointed to an article in Community News that Councilman Coletti and I were in favor of the 3-year term, when in fact, both Councilman Coletti and I voted no to the 3-year term of the engineer at our January 1st meeting where the appointment was made by the majority. I voted for the agreement, again for the engineer, so we would have an agreement in place for a borough engineer. But as the majority seems to want to use that as a political item, tonight I'm going to vote no for the agreement. Thank you, Mayor.
Any other discussion?
When we talk about Stampone, I'm talking about the engineer.
Stampone. Were you listening to what I said?
Yeah, I heard what you said. You talk about the engineer more than anything else.
Mayor, may I say
The same thing over and over again.
For the second year in a row, we are very fortunate to have 2 attorneys for the same price than we were paying someone 3 years ago. So I think it's also a financial decision. Both attorneys have taken less to do the same job one person was doing 3 years ago. So I think the town is getting a lot of benefit from having 2 separate attorneys and not spending any more money than we did 3 years ago. That's what I have to say.
Any other discussion? That's not really correct. We had Mr. Giblin, who did this through his salary. He didn't get any more money for doing it. And he got $52,000 or $53,000, whatever it was, and he handled all the tax appeals. And last year, we hired Mr. Giblin, and he got paid for that job.
$8,000.
Right, and now you're hiring this, Mr., what's his name, Vincenzo?
Stampone.
Stampone.
At the same price.
Right, but I think Mr. Catamagna last week mentioned something that there weren't that many tax appeals, so we should hire somebody else. If there aren't that many tax appeals, quite frankly, why don't we reduce the price?
Mayor, if I may.
We're not saving anything.
Should I say that? Mayor, I did not say that last week. You confused me with Mr. Dombrowski.
Okay, I'm
He
sorry.
said that.
I'm sorry.
Mayor, if I may, the mayor is not speaking 100% correctly as well. Last year, when we made changes to the borough attorney, the increase, the 2% annual increase would have brought last year's attorney, if we would have brought him back, at $56,000. $56,000, not $52,000. We then hired our current borough attorney, and we hired a tax attorney for $56,000. 2 attorneys, same price. This year, there's going to be another 2%. We still have 2 attorneys at $56,000. So understand that we have not spent more money. We've actually saved money and got 2 professionals.
If I may, Mayor,
Yes.
that probably, if your math is correct, that's all right what you just said. But it still doesn't answer the question, why are we changing the attorney when he was doing a very good job? He has a track record, a proven track record. Why are we taking a chance with a newcomer at this point? It's not broke, why fix it? I know it sounds like a broken record, but it's factual.
Mr. Coletti, when you say he did an excellent job, I say last time, I don't want to say anything negative about people, let him go, but you know, and I know, he did not do an excellent job. We talk about, in executive, other stuff that's coming up. And, I don't want to bring anything up, I just want to say to you, you're wrong. He did not do an excellent job for this borough, okay? We can talk this in private.
When did this occur? Because last year you voted for him. Did that just recently?
Maybe it occurred this year, something that happened in the past, okay?
Well,
So I don't want to, as I say, I hate to put anybody down. Mr. Gill, good man, excellent, I don't find him an excellent. That's why we change the lawyer.
Well, unless you're willing to state what he did wrong.
I would.
It's just hearsay.
Yeah, I will-
And it's not for my consideration then.
In executive, if you want to. Thank you.
As far as I know, Mr. Esposito even recommended Mr. Giblin to take the job again this year. And maybe we can ask why. Call the roll, please.
On roll call, Councilman Caramagna.
Yes.
Coletti.
No?
Martino.
Yes.
Pettigano.
Yes.
Bonsino.
No.
Dombrowski.
Yes.
Motion carries. Okay, under item 6, resolutions. To the Borough Council, I hereby nominate and with your advice and consent, appoint Melinda Rigler to the Rent Leveling Board for a period of 4 years, term ending December 31st, 2018. Respectfully submitted, Richard A. Mola. Resolution 88-15. Appointment of a Rent Leveling Board member. Be it resolved by the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Elmwood Park that the appointment of Melinda Rigler to the Rent Leveling Board for a period of 4 years, term ending December 31st, 2018, be and is hereby confirmed. I need a motion.
So moved?
Mr. Dombrowski?
I second.
Mr. Catamagna, discussion? Call the roll, please.
On roll call, Councilman Caramagna.
Yes.
Coletti.
Yes?
Martino.
Yes.
Pettigano. Bonsino.
Yes.
Dombrowski.
Yes.
Motion carries. Resolution 89-15, appointment of library board member. Whereas the resolution appointing a library board member at the January 15, 2015 regular meeting of the Mayor and Council failed to be adopted by the Borough Council, and whereas the 30-day period commenced on January 15, 2015, whereas the Borough Council may now nominate an individual for said position. Now therefore be it resolved by the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Elmwood Park that the appointment of Richard Chewinski as a member of the Library Board, term ending December 31st, 2019, be and the same is hereby confirmed.
Motion, please.
So moved.
Mr. Bonsino?
Second?
Second, Mr. Coletti. Discussion? I have some discussion, gentlemen. I'm unhappy that Jamie Silverman has been taken off the board. She's put 10 years in on that board. She has accumulated and brought in great amount of interest, monies we've deposited. The library is planning to extend. The library is planning to extend an addition onto the library. She's been working on that continuously for the last 2 to 3 years. She's dedicated to the library, and I just feel that it's not fair to her or to the library board to have her taken off at this particular time. I think she deserves and has worked at getting that position again, especially since over the years she's accumulated the monies that were needed for the job and done a substantial amount of work for the library board. Call the roll, please.
Mayor, if I may?
Yes.
I was just advised by our attorney that I might want to think about recusing myself in reference to the appointment with Mr. Chewinski, because I do have some business dealings with him. It has no reflection on what I think of his ability to be on the library board. It's just that it might be considered a conflict of interest because we have some business together. So if I can recuse myself from that vote, I would appreciate it.
Let me have another second, please.
I'll second it.
Mr. Dombrowski, I made my statement. I think it's wrong. I wish you would reconsider and reappoint Mrs. Silverman. Call the roll, please.
Councilman Caramagna.
Abstain.
Okay, Councilman Coletti recused himself.
Correct.
Martino.
Yes.
Pettigano.
Yes.
Bonsino.
Yes.
Dombrowski.
Yes.
Motion carries. Resolution 90-15, appointment of rent leveling board member.
Excuse me. On this, Mr. Dombrowski, didn't you abstain last time I put her name up?
No, on Joanne?
No.
Joanne Siragusa?
No, on Jamie.
I abstained on Jamie, but I voted yes on appointing Richie.
Today.
That's correct.
Right. And Mr. Catamagna, you abstained on Jamie. You voted yes.
Jamie?
No,
abstain?
you voted no on Jamie the first time.
Yes.
And now you're voting.
Abstain for Mr. Chewinski.
No, What's the
You-
issue?
You abstain from Mr. Chewinski?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, go ahead. By the way, we have a new clerk. This is Barbara Despoto, our deputy clerk, running the meeting today, doing an excellent job so far.
So far. Thank you, sir.
Gonna make her nervous now, man.
She doesn't get nervous.
Okay, Resolution 90-15, appointment of rent leveling board member. Whereas the resolution appointing a rent leveling board member at the January 15, 2015 regular meeting of the mayor and council failed to be adopted by the Borough Council, and whereas the 30-day period commenced on January 15, 2015, whereas the Borough Council may now nominate an individual for said position. Now therefore be resolved by the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Elmwood Park that the appointment of Joanne Siracusa as a member of the Rent Leveling Board for the unexpired term ending December 31st, 2015 be and the same is hereby confirmed.
Motion, please.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Martino, second by Mr. Dombrowski. Any discussion? Call the roll.
Councilman Caramagna?
Yes.
Coletti?
Yes.
Martino?
Yes.
Petagano?
Yes.
Bonsino?
Yes.
Dombrowski?
Yes.
Motion carries. Under applications, I have a calendar raffle application for the St. Leo's Church, Home, and School Association.
Motion, please.
So moved.
Mr. Coletti, second.
Second.
Second, Mr. Petagano. Discussion? Call the roll, please.
Councilman Caramagna?
Yes.
Coletti?
Yes.
Martino?
Yes.
Petagano?
Yes.
Bonsino?
Yes.
Dombrowski?
Yes.
That concludes my portion of the meeting.
Thank you. Committee reports, Mr. Caramagna.
Yes, Mayor. First of all, I want to congratulate the police for the excellent job they're doing. Really excited about this. It's time to clean up. I commend our new chief, Felino. He's doing a great job, sir. It's, all of a sudden we get all these arrests. The problem was here before. I'm sure it was here before. The only thing is now we catching them. And I tell you, I like what I see. Many people disagree with me, say, oh, it gives Elmwood Park a bad name. To me, it does not. I think it tells something to those guys. Stay away from Elmwood Park. I'm very happy. Then the second, Mayor, I have, if you guys read the community news, the article about students learn to send a positive message as peer leaders. I read the article and I'm very excited about it. I'm very happy to see that. I don't know if many of you read it, but if you didn't read it, please read the article. It's very important. It puts all students together to build up confidence among themselves. You know the problem we have, like kids commit suicide, they don't know one to talk to. Now, they try to create, students talk to one another. If there's a problem, to alert someone. Sometimes kids the same age, they communicate better with each other. I, as a teacher, feel the same way. A lot of times they don't want to tell grown-ups. I think this is good. Read the article, and I hope they continue this way. Then I just want the traffic light on Broadway, the Board of Elmwood Park, and Fairlawn. It's about time. Mr. Wolzino mentioned it's been 6 years. This has been over 15 years since I've been in the council. We tried to fix the problem. Okay, and I'm very happy it's happened. I want to say thank you to Senator Paul and also Senator Bob Gordon. It's a good idea. It's about time for the safety. And the last thing I have, this morning I met with the new superintendent, Anthony Greco. I went to congratulate him. I tell you, he's very happy with the job. He feels very confident that he can do the work. Also, I asked him, how does he feel about the new standards test? He said parents should encourage students to take the tests. But he also feels that many students are not happy. Also, many parents are not happy with this. And I was not happy. And this was one of the reasons why I didn't say early retirement was time for me to go. one of the reasons why I left teaching. Before, used to be such a happy atmosphere in school. Then all of a sudden, we got involved so much stress. I'll be honest with you, I'm too old for that. So that's why, I know Mr. Grieco for many years as a principal, vice principal, assistant superintendent, and I feel very confident they will do a great job. He's a man that you can communicate. And I also say, you know, we want to work together with you, the council, and the mayor. No more argument. Let's work together. Teachers and everybody gets the same taxpayers' money that everybody gets. So it's people, we do something for the town. I always emphasize, for me, safety is important. Education is also very important. The last I say that this afternoon, I called Rory Gitano, and I asked him to call a meeting sometime next week. I want to meet my financial committee to discuss next year's budget. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Dombrowski?
Thank you, Mayor. First off, I'd like to congratulate the Elmo Park, or actually wish well and wish luck to the Elmo Park cheerleaders, high school cheerleaders, the competition team. They leave tomorrow for Virginia. Last year, they came back winners and national champions. We hope that they have the same success this year. So I wish them all very well. We went earlier today, we went to go see their routine, and they look like they're ready. So looking forward to having them come back here to the council as national champions again. Second, on the Board of Health, just to let everybody know that we do have a low-cost rabies clinic that runs now twice a month. Prior to when we had our Board of Health here and not going with the county, we used to do it once a year. Well, now there's an opportunity to have your pets vaccinated twice a month. And you can go to, you could either Google Bergen County Animal Shelter, or you could go to www.co.bergen.nj.us/animal shelter, and you will see what the schedule is. Again, they do it twice a month from 3:30 to 6:30 p.m. Not only do they have the rabies clinic, the low-cost vaccination for rabies, they also have distemper for canines, $15. Anybody who goes to their veterinarian with their dog, it's an arm and a leg. It's only $15 through the county. The Bordella shot, in case if you put your dog up in a kennel, that's $15. The feline distemper vaccine, a 1-year is a $15 cost, and a 3-year distemper is $30. Again, all of these are much, much lower than what you can get through your current vet. And then, of course, they also do the microchipping of the animal. In case the animal is lost, they put a microchip in the animal for $25. Again, that's all done through the Bergen County Animal Shelter. And lastly, I'd just like to remember that today marks the 70th anniversary of the Marines storming Iwo Jima. And I'd just like to acknowledge the courage and the commitment that those Marines showed that day on taking the sandy beach. A lot of lives were lost, but a lot of lives were saved because of it as well. And to all of the Marines and to all the armed forces and to all of our military, thank you for the job that you're doing in keeping the United States safe and coming to the call of duty. Progress.
Mr. Dombrowski, is there going to be any action here? People who want their dogs have the rabies shots?
There was a discussion to have the Bergen County Animal, I call it the Animal Mobile. It's there to come here to Elmo Park, and we would either set it up at one of the fire stations, possibly here at Borough Hall, and we would have a day or two a year that we could do that.
That's not finalized, though.
It has not been finalized, no.
See if you can get that finalized. People are so used to coming here than without traveling. They kind of get lost going to Teterboro.
It's fine.
And,
No, they're definitely willing to do it. It just, we have to set up a date.
That's fine.
I'll discuss it with the board members.
Right. With our board members, or
The Board of Health has to approve it.
to have it here?
Yes.
Why wouldn't they approve
There
it?
is state statute. Well, it's not that they wouldn't.
Oh,
It has to
okay.
be brought to their attention.
Okay, good. You'll do that, right?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Voncino?
Yes, Mayor, thank you. Just to follow up on Councilman Caramagna's comment on the traffic signal on Broadway. From all reports, it looks like we're going to have an installation of the traffic signal on Broadway, East 55th Street, probably by the end of April. You may not know, both my sons commuted via New Jersey Transit train to high school. My son Matt went into New York City and Michael down to Jersey City. So when Matt started in 2007, he took the 6:58 train into Secaucus. So my plan was I'd go down East 54th where I live, make a right on Broadway, park in front of the liquor store, drop them off and get an early start at work. And that first day of school back in 2007, I didn't think he'd ever make it across Broadway, and it was 7 o'clock in the morning. Needless to say, now that they're out of the house, I never get out of the house by 8 o'clock, so I'm always late for work. But that's from that second day of school on, we left early, and I drove into Farallon, and I parked on the Farallon side so they wouldn't have to cross. And just watching pedestrians at 7 in the morning, and more so at 5, they used to get home around 5 o'clock, it was like watching a real live game of Frogger, people trying to negotiate that intersection. And then the yellow flashing light was installed, and that seemed to make matters worse because the pedestrians hesitated. People would stop. Some people would stop at that light, and then other people would go around. And I saw firsthand a number of car accidents and a number of near misses with pedestrians. So when I came on council, that was one of the items I thought needed to be addressed in town. And Mr. Kazmark had set up a meeting with Department of Transportation and New Jersey Transit. And New Jersey Transit and the Department of Transportation had done a study of that crossing and concluded the best solution there would be to install a pedestrian overpass. But I believe the estimate to accomplish that was something north of $3 million to do that. And during that time, in the state of our economy, that wasn't going to happen. So working with the Borough of Farallon and our state representatives, we kept at it. The Department of Transportation was really pitching a hawk light, which was essentially that yellow light, but when you push the button, it turned red. That seemed like not really the right solution. So with time, and you could debate whether we had to kick in money, but Farallon and Elmo Park put money toward the engineering of that project to keep things moving along. And it's good to see it's finally going to happen, and I think it's going to be a benefit to the residents of our community that use that train station to commute every day. And I find it ironic, let my 13-year-old go from Elmo Park into Manhattan, never had a concern, but I had a concern of him crossing the street right here in town, so I'm glad it's getting done for our residents. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Mr. Martino?
Yes, a few things. Councilman Caramagna mentioned the police. Great job, but it's actually scary how many people are out there that they are catching. So as the campaign says, if you see something, say something, because we can be their eyes too. Please don't get involved and don't do anything, but notify them of something going on, because the amount of arrests that are happening, and we get a daily log of this, is very, very scary. They're stopping it, hopefully filtering into the town, because most of it's happening, we know where. And I'm sure like a lot of people that are going to be listening to this, I have children, and we don't want it to get into our homes, but the police have a tough job there, and hopefully they're stemming the tide, and hopefully people are getting the hint. Two other things. Wednesday, the 25th, I want to remind everybody, the Homeowners Association is trying to build their membership up again. Please come, half hour, get some coffee, some free dessert, cake, whatever you want. Just stay for a half hour, an hour. Maybe you can have some input into what we can do better, what we're doing wrong, and everybody has a good idea. Also, on the 28th, next Saturday, at the high school, there's going to be a cheer tournament for the girls. There are going to be about 25 teams there. If someone has a few hours to come by, spend a few dollars, it's going to help out the organization, and obviously all the organizations need money. A few dollars maybe will go a long way. if you have the time, go by, and you're going to see some nice competition. Other than that, progress.
Thank you. Mr. Pedigano?
Thank you, Mayor. In regard to the police arresting all these people and catching all this heroin, I urge everyone to look at the Woodland Park Record, the Sunday Record, whatever, what's it?
The Bergen record.
The Bergen
Bergen
Record.
Record.
Thank you.
It's made in Woodland Park.
Yes. And look at the online version of the heroin epidemic, and also if you have the newspaper or only the newspaper, please look at that. It's very important. It doesn't mention Elmwood Park except for a few moments, but the concern we have here is the spillover and the danger that is only a mile from our town. And with the diligence of our police and the few men that we have given them so far, they've done a tremendous job. So I don't want anybody to bury their head in the sand. It's a very important issue, and it's an issue that will keep our town safe if we keep it in the forefront. Also, with the cold coming in tonight, I urge everyone, of course, no one's going to see this until after the cold is gone, but there will be more days. Always check on your neighbors, especially the elderly. And if we have more snow and it's significant and you see elderly people and it seems that they are not getting any help with snow, please call the municipal building. They will get in touch with myself or the mayor. We have teams of youths who will be willing to shovel for them also. Very important to keep their walks clear, not only so they don't get a ticket, but in case there's an emergency. And progress. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Mr. Coletti?
Yes, if I just may comment on the weather, expand on what Councilman Pedigano had said. They're saying it's not going to get mild until the beginning of March. So we got another week or 10 days of this for sure. Florida, regarding the traffic light on Route 4, hallelujah. When I came on board some 3 1/3 years ago, the council was addressing the situation there, and I took a ride down myself, got out of the car, and just barely crossed the street without getting hurt. So with that, I jumped on board. I understood their concerns, and we had arranged a meeting. It was Mr. Vancino, the mayor, Mr. Chewinski at the time was on the council, to actually go to the site with our legislators to see if we can get some push on their end. And ironically, as it wasn't the senator, Senator Poe was one of the assemblywoman at the time. She almost got clipped crossing the street coming to the meeting. I think that spoke volumes of itself, of the danger of the area. And this council, previous council, the mayor, we didn't let up, and we have to also give congratulations to our neighboring town, Fairlawn. They were on board 100% with us. And lo and behold, 6 years later, we have a traffic light going in. And let's just hope nothing happens until that traffic light is installed. Regarding our fire department, they did help out at the recent massive fire in Edgewater. I spoke with the Edgewater administrator, Greg Franz. Some of you might remember Greg Franz. He was a councilman for the longest time here in Elmwood Park, also lived in Elmwood Park. He was very thankful for the support he got from our members of the fire department. And he went on to say that with that massive destruction and that massive fire, how not one fireman or aid worker was injured. Not even a scratch. And in terms of lost equipment, just maybe a pick here or a very small item. So that was a miracle in itself to end up with that results. Our Joint Insurance Fund, JIF, will be holding its yearly Safety Awards breakfast. Gentlemen, you might want to take this down. March 25th at 8:30 a.m. at the Stony Hill Inn in Hackensack. The criteria for their award has to do with lost time accident frequency. Towns that have less accidents and lost time receive awards. There are 3 categories: gold, silver, and bronze. Elmwood Park, with a very good record, will be receiving a silver award along with a approximately $1,000 check that will be given to our mayor. They won't give it to anybody else but our mayor. They just don't trust us. So, nice job to all the department heads and the departments, and let's stay the course. And one last thing, I know once again I'm going to sound like a broken record regarding the fire hydrants. Once again, if the fire hydrants border your property, you are responsible to keep it snow-free. We're getting close to the end of this winter, hopefully, and let's stay safe and keep those fire hydrants clean. Mayor?
Thank you. Mr. Randazzo?
Progress, nothing over.
Thank you. I'm pleased to hear that Mr. Catamagna is going to have a meeting with the Finance Committee. I think we should all try to get involved in that. I've looked over that, the budget from last year, and I have a lot of experience with the budget. And Mr. Catamagna, I think what we should look at very sincerely is try to get the tax rate down to 0, or as close to 0 as we can get.
Mayor, you read my mind, I don't know.
Yeah, well,
Must be a magician.
must be. I have something funny I won't say. If we can keep it as close to 0 as possible, or 0, I have no idea what the Board of Education is going to do with their budget, or the county, or the open space. So we've got to do what we can, and then hopefully next year we can continue in that same progress. So what I'm calling for is a 0 or close to 0 tax increase for the budget.
Thank you.
At this time, before I forget, I would like to appoint Jamie Silberman as my alternate on the library board. She is being appointed as an alternate, which means she doesn't have a vote, only if I'm not there. Although it does indicate pleasure of the mayor, it's my alternate. That's why it's pleasure of the mayor. The superintendent has the same thing, but they don't have a vote unless the individual, the superintendent or myself, is not at the meeting. So, Barbara, would you please keep that in mind and put it in?
Mm-hmm.
I spoke to Excel Environmental Resources today. That's the company that we're hiring to look over Cinco paint and see if we can get that place resolved with all the environmental problems that's been there. It's on Van Riper Avenue. And they told me that there's some problem with Terms, the company we had before Excel Environmental, and they just have to clear up some of the problems they had with finances with the Department of Environmental Protection, and they will do that. If we get any money, it'll be completely free to take care of that building, and then that building can either be raised or anything else that the council decides to do with that particular building. Police chief is in the back of the room, and I'd just like to indicate to everyone here that I did speak to him very quickly this afternoon about getting a possibility of a permanent drug drop box, where if anybody has any items in their bathroom closet, pills, any kind of medicine that's harmful and so forth, that they can come here and they can drop it off in the box and relieve themselves of any anxiety of keeping those kinds of things in their own house. He said he would look at that and see if we can come up with some type of situation. I know we've had it in the past, but I think it has to be in the building, in the police station. He said he doesn't know and he's going to check on it. So, Chief, if you can do that, I think it would be good to have it anytime they want to do it, and not only once or twice a year.
Mayor, if I may, I'm sorry, not to interrupt you, but the Board of Health has already been in contact. They're actually wanting to do that. They were going to contact the chief as well on that 24-hour drug box.
I beat him to it.
Yes, you did.
Thank you. If we're talking about the railroad crossing, on East 54th, you know, it's taken a while. And when Mr. Boncino got elected 6 years ago, he complained about 6 months later, it's taken so long. And I said, Lou, it's going to take longer than that. It took 6 years. And I would like to personally thank Commissioner Jamie Foxx for doing this. He's been the catalyst, along with Senator Poe and our Assembly people. I know Senator Poe indicated that she supported the appointment of Jamie Foxx to the board with this in mind that he would work on, and he certainly has. He also indicated to me that he's going to sincerely look at the possibility of putting in the park and ride that we've talked about for many years, right down here at the end of Locust Street on River Drive. He said he thinks that's an excellent idea to put a park and ride there, and there would be some financial remuneration for Elmwood Park on that, and it will also keep some of the cars off the road and take the bus. They put the advertisements in the paper, you know, park your car and take the bus, and they don't give us any information as to, we want that. Tell us why you don't want to give it to us. The 100th Anniversary Committee, I just want everybody here and I'm watching, I haven't sent any letters out yet to call a meeting for the 100th Anniversary Committee. We have over 55 people, maybe closer to 60 at this time, and anybody in the audience who wants to participate can do so. The reason I haven't sent anything out is who's going to come out on a cold night like this? So we'll just wait another couple of weeks. Early March, it warms up a little bit, and we'll have that meeting. It's going to be moving very.
Mayor, we came.
We came, they're all here.
12 people there, Mayor.
What?
12 people plus 7, 19, 20.
And I only think,
22.
and I don't see anybody here except the police chief who said they wanted to be on the committee.
What, do they chop liver?
Okay.
Wow. There you go.
That's right. Sandy, you did put your name on it. Good. But we have some people who are getting up there in years, and I don't think we should ask them to come out in this weather. Why, you people think we should?
No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for...
I mean, who's going to ask? We call a meeting.
No,
Okay.
no, I'm sorry.
Joe, do we have to get that respect letter out?
Mayor, you should bronze that letter. Put cellophane on it.
It's the letter, residents observe better representation. It's written by Joe Dombrowski indicating the mayor should be treated according to the position of mayor with respect. I mentioned this before, I just want to mention it again. Commissioner Foxx also indicated to us that he would see that the pavement on River Drive under Route 80 will be paved this spring.
Yeah, sure.
Okay? And just to tell everybody here, and I was surprised to find out, River Drive is owned and paved by the county, except under Route 80. That's owned by the state. And the county and the state have been discussing who's going to be paving that particular part of the street. And I received a phone call that they're going to be paving it in the spring, underneath Route 80. Now, another thing comes to mind. If that belongs to the state on River Drive, I don't know, Market Street belongs to us, to the county, maybe they should pave under Route 80 on Market Street also. It's getting bad under there. So we'll check into that.
Terrible.
Excuse me?
It's terrible.
Right.
Filth.
Okay.
Mayor, are you going to talk about Tuesday, the town hall meeting?
Excuse me?
Will you be discussing with the public the town hall meeting on Tuesday?
I think that's been indicated. What Mr. Dombrowski's talking about is we're going to have a town hall meeting on Tuesday, and of course this is going out after that, to talk about Route 4 and Market Street, about possibly changing the zone on that. I think that's all I have down here. Oh, yes, one last thing. I mentioned this at the last meeting, but there's no reason why I can't repeat it. I did go to a freeholder meeting just to tell the freeholders, or ask the freeholders, to keep Elmwood Park, the Artesian Fields, the park in Elmwood Park that belongs to the county, in mind. Still some work that has to be done there. And they said that they certainly would keep that in mind and help themselves and help us by improving that park. And there's nothing we can do now with the snow, but there's some work that has to be done to finish off that park. Thank you. I'll open it to the public. Is there anyone in the public who wishes to be heard on any matter in the borough? Give your name and address, please.
Rich Trowinski, 42 Walnut Street. I'd just like to thank the council for appointing me to the library board in a non-partisan way. It's good to see both sides working together. On the other hand, too, I'd like to thank Jamie Silverman for her dedication to the library. When I was on this council, I was also instrumental in getting her appointed to the board. Misnomer that I still like to bring up, Mayor, about the money that Jamie did save. It's called due diligence, people. If you have a budget of $800,000 from the taxpayers and you only spend $6, you're supposed to save the rest and not spend it. And I credit her for putting it all together. Yes, it was all over the place. But going forward, I will look forward to working with this library board.
Thank you. Any other comments from anyone? Yes, sir.
Mayor.
Okay. If you can finish up in 5 minutes, he's going to cut us off.
No problem. I'll be done in less than that, maybe. Kenneth Arabia, 34 Locust Street, Elmhurst, New Jersey. I just trying to tell you two things, that's all. One is, there's no parking signs on Mulberry Street going down to City Hall. There's no parking signs. And the curb is yellow, but the problem is, you can't see it because there's all snow over it. So you have cars parking in the street. Meanwhile, you've got all the cars coming from Locust Street going down, and you got cars parking there, and there's no parking, and it's like a mess.
You're right. I saw one car parked there today when I was here, and it was moved in a few minutes. It wasn't there long.
I know, but I'm just trying to tell you. There's no signs. Because you know why there were no signs? Because you took it down when you built the new generator in. And there was a sign were up before, but they're all gone now.
Well, we'll look into that, but the whole curb is yellow, so...
Yeah, but the thing is, it's covered with snow. How you can see it now? You can't see it.
Okay.
Excellent.
Now, one more question, ask you. Mayor, I've been telling you this many years ago, and you never did nothing about it. I want to know, when you ever going to put stop sign in the parking lot, and when you can put it one-way street like there used to be, and no signs? Everything knocked down since a long time ago, and I used to bring them all to the police station and say, here's another sign, they're knocked down.
We'll bring that up with the police and DPW, but it's lined. There are
No,
arrows.
but it still doesn't make a difference because you know why? Because you see a lot of cars coming when the court day, and when you have that day, and you have another time when you have the bus come for Atlantic City going out and coming back home at nighttime, because it's crazy at nighttime when the bus drops everybody off. I was in a hurry, and meanwhile, there's no stop sign on that corner where Mulberry Street supposed to be, because there used to be one there, but it was knocked down for a long time.
Thank you.
Okay?
In regard to what was just said, how much time we have? 3 minutes. At that parking lot in the back, we do have arrows indicating which way you come in and which way you go out. But it's amazing when you have court here, we have people going the wrong way and then backing into the parking space, which is kind of very unusual. How do you back into a slanted parking space? But they try to do it, and the only thing I can say about that's why they're coming here for court. Maybe they've done that many, many times and got many, many tickets in a year. If there are no other items to be...
Mayor, I just forgot something real quick. I'll be very brief.
A minute.
It was a nice that we got the light on Route 4 while we're talking about the trains. But as you saw in the paper, in the press, that other crossing on Midland Ave is one of the worst in the country. I was wondering if this mayor and council is going to put a resolution together, get down to the state, maybe we can do something about that.
Thank you. I don't know if we need a resolution. We have Senator Gordon's already commented on it. Congressman Pascrell has been commenting on it. And when I spoke to Michael Aaron about that problem, he told me it would cost about $84 million to put an overpass. And the last time I spoke to the state about that, the only thing they came up with was to put an overpass across the slanted section of the railroad tracks. But they've been looking at it, and we've been concerned about it, and the state's going to have to resolve that particular problem. One of my suggestions would be put up a sign there. They have signs up now where you're supposed to do it, but put up a sign that is so large and so ludicrous that it's such a danger. Maybe people will understand that. If they're not going to do anything else, they're going to have to put some kind of documentation on that road to tell people from out of town what the problem is. People in town, I think, understand it. So maybe we need a very large sign, maybe a big overhead sign with some, be careful, death trap, something like that. I'm just making it up real now. But I think they have to do something to let people know. May I have a motion to adjourn,
We can
please?
adjourn, Mayor. We have an executive session.
Have an executive
Okay,
session.
whereas the
please.
Open Public Meetings Act, PL 1975, Chapter 231, permits the exclusion of the public from a meeting in certain circumstances. And
All in
whereas this is
favor?
a public body, is of the
We're gonna run out
opinion
of
that
time,
such
Barbara.
circumstances, I still have to read it, circumstances
You
presently
go, girl.
exist, and whereas the governing body wishes to discuss
Yeah, time.
personnel for the police department, potential litigation for the Elm Park United Soccer, personnel for municipal court, potential litigation for AAI Holding Incorporated, potential litigation for Riverview Service Center LLC, and litigation for Bonanno versus the Borough of Elmwood Park. Minutes will be kept, and once the matter involving the confidentiality of the above no longer requires that confidentiality, then the minutes shall be made public. Now therefore be it resolved that the public be excluded from this meeting. Conditions.
Thank you, Bob.
So moved.
Second.
By Mr. Pettigano, Mr. Martinez, second by Mr. Pettigano. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye. Aye. Aye.
Opposed, so ordered.
Thank you. Good job, Barb. Keeping it on track.
Well, who needs Keith?